Hey there, it's Erin Lindauer, and I wanted to bring you a Facebook Live today about ending your year strong, talk about doing a review, and then also telling you when our next transformation challenge is. So a lot of good stuff in here, but just put out an email today talking about wrapping up 2018, and I can't believe it's time to actually be doing that already, but it is. And so do you do a review? This is something that Tony and I have been doing for a very long time, and we've been very successful with it, and I want to encourage you to take some time and review your life. Take yourself through what we call as the wheel of life, and it's going to take you through multiple aspects of your life. So not just personal, but also professional. Dig through finances, relationships, spirituality, several different areas, lifestyle. We've used multiple times Darren Hardy's Living Your Best Year Ever book. It's a great tool that you can it will help prompt you through things, but if you don't do a review, I just highly encourage you to test it out this year. Take some time for yourself and do it now versus the end of the year. And maybe the end of the year is a better time for you, but the reason I recommend doing it now is because then it's going to give you time to set your intentions and your goals for January. That way you're not playing catch up all through January. One of the big things that we do though is we go back through our Google calendars. I have a paper planner calendar that I keep everything in, and it's important to really highlight what happened in a year. This year has been a dynamite year for us, more personally. A lot of times we've been focused pretty hard on our business, and this year was a huge year for Tony and I. We had our daughter, and a lot of people know my story from having our son. I had a pretty rough birth with Leo, and it left me with a lot of PTSD, suffered through some postpartum depression, that it was some baggage. And once I found out I was pregnant with our daughter, I wasn't so sure about it. I wanted it for sure and planned it, yes. But then once it's finally in motion, you sit here and go, oh, okay, now I gotta go relive this again. And so I was very fearful for her birth, but I did a ton of work around just preparing for that day and trying to help me process the baggage. I even went back to the hospital and walked the halls, went back into my delivery room where I had Leo, and I can tell you it was exhausting, but it was the best time that I spent on myself and healing, because once I had Livia, it was wonderful. We had a beautiful 6-hour natural water birth. It was everything I'd ever dreamed a birth could be. I'm okay with never doing it again, but it was beautiful. Like, it was absolutely a beautiful birth. If I could have written the story, that's how I would have wanted it. But I will tell you, it took a lot of intentional effort to be able to be in that headspace and be able to do that. And I sat afterwards, after I had her, and I was like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what it's like to sit in recovery and hold your baby. And anyways, it was just a huge, huge blessing and just a huge moment in our year. The other big thing that we learned and persevered through this year was building a house. I do not recommend the builder that we used for anybody, but it was one of those things where we had an eye on our prize. This is what we wanted, and we weathered every single storm there could have possibly been. It was supposed to take about 4 or 5 months. It took almost 11 months, and just a lot of upsets and things. But I will tell you, the biggest lessons through getting through something like that, now that we finally are in and done, is stick to your guns. I mean, we could have walked away at any moment, and almost did multiple times. I think it would have been a little bit less stressful had we done that, but at the end of the day, it was something worth fighting for, and at least it was in our eyes. And it really showed the persistency and understanding what you're willing to tolerate. At the end of the day, there were things that I had to look the other way that wasn't done to the way that you would have wanted it to be done, and you just have to say, that's okay, look the other way, and finish what you started. And that was a big lesson in a journey that was not supposed to be that long, but that's what happened. So if you don't step back and look at these things that happened in your life, there's so many lessons, and there's so many lessons to be learned as life goes on. And this is a really important thing that I recommend anyone do, even in your fitness journey. It's really neat when people keep journals about what they do for their workouts, because you can step back and say, whoa, this is what I was doing. Check out what I've done now. And that's why there's a lot of consistency in our program, where you can monitor, okay, this is what I was back squatting, January, and then by December, here's what I can do, or that weight is so simple, or maybe that weight's a warm up. And so I think it's a really good exercise to look back at your year from all aspects of life and just review, just talk it through with a partner, a spouse, a friend, write it out, because there's so many things that happen in a year that, man, if we just keep going forward, we'll kind of forget the lessons learned and the things along the way, or maybe there's lessons that you don't even realize occurred that happened. So anyways, I always want to share just personally, two of our big things this year was just the birth of our daughter, and just how it happened and how healing it was for me. I mean, I know I've had a lot of people ask me, how are you doing post having Livia? Because about this marker point was when I went down pretty hard. After having our son, I was trying to keep it together, and it just wasn't gonna go. But her birth just really showed me, man, this is what it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be, and I'm thankful for that experience. And just building this house where it was not a good time, especially towards the end, it got pretty bad, but it's staying the course. When you know that something is right, stick to your guns, go for it, you'll get through it. And honestly, having a resource like Darren Hardy's book called Living Your Best Year Ever is a great tool. It even has weekly assessment tools that you can use throughout the year to make sure you're on track, and it's something that I highly recommend. I mean, we've been using his resource, and I know a lot of our friends use it as well, as something you can just continue to use year after year. And so one of the coolest things that we do every single January and every July is we have a big transformation challenge where it is accountability through the roof. It's an intentional amount of time, and we do not start this program until January 14th. So I just want everybody to know that this is coming up. It is a big program that we do as a group, and we love doing our transformation challenges. So I just want to give everybody a heads up that it is coming soon. We want to get you through the holidays, but January 14th is going to be the official launch. Next week, you will get information about our what was I going to say? Oh, our early bird. We're gonna have our early bird special that's coming. It will be $100 off. Sorry, someone was outside my door. But just wanted to give everyone a heads up that this is coming. So January 14th is our next transformation challenge. It is super fun with recipes, meal plans, accountability. You're gonna be in a group of like-minded people. That's, I think, so powerful. You'll have your own private Facebook group. We'll be holding you accountable, and you'll be doing some awesome workouts. So just stay tuned for more details, and you'll want to sign up early so you'll get our $100 off early bird special. But take a second, review 2018. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, and you never know what you're going to uncover when you start digging through a year's worth. So get those calendars out, use the great tool called Living Your Best Year Ever that Darren Hardy puts out, and then consider jumping in. Our next transformation challenge will kick off on January 14th. So I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you soon. Take care.